What makes
Uh,
combat good?
what makes combat good? Well, we kind of touched on that a little bit already. Like it you got to develop that into your story writing. You can't just like
Ooh,
have like what you think is going to look cool or flashy or whatever. You're gonna have to. It's an art. You're gonna have to mix it all together.
It depends on the needs of the story. Like
Yeah.
a good fight from The Matrix is going to be very different from a great fight, say from The Last Samurai. Like a good fight in each of those would not work in the other, obviously.
yeah, that's true. But I
Oh,
think Bats makes the point of it just tying into whatever the story's about, and I think that does make a fight better. It can be entertaining on its face. It can be like a dumb Fast and Furious kind of action sequence. But I think whenever you have the symbolism tied into it, I think that's whenever it takes it to another level because it's a part of the storytelling at that point. It's not just action for the sake of action. So I agree with you on
so
that front.
I will say. I mean, there's some movies that are literally just straight up action all the way through, and
Those are
there's
pretty
like
good.
really not much story.
Right.
And that'll work as like a flashy stuntman kind of like fun movie. But I think the most important first question you're going to ask is, well, what does the results of this fight mean, right? If you don't know the answer to that, or like what happens if it gets interrupted or something like that. Yeah, like those are questions you have to ask when you get into the fight. You don't if there's nothing of that,
Well,
then it's usually just a pointless thing that's occurring.
without character, without reasons, without character interaction, without good dialogue, without a good build up, it's just spectacle. If it's a good fight, like look at one of my favorite fight scenes in any movie, like or I'll say like scenes of conflict. The throne room scene from Return of the Jedi, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. That fight, as good as it is, even on screen and such, it would not without all of the background and what was at stake and all of the build up and all of the character choices and kind of moments of very important decision that came in that fight, it wouldn't have the meaning that it does just based on spectacle alone.
Concur.
Yeah.
Concur.
That sauce comes in. I agree.
Epic. The Born Identity.
Born Delicacy.
I've never
Fighting.
seen any of them.
Good fighting.
That's
That's my thought. Good fighting.
Yeah,
Couldn't
it's
really-
a little hard to see who's who at the time, though. It's like two guys in a white T-shirt and a black leather jacket.
That is
fighting and with a blue
shaky
filter
cam
over it,
done
and they're like,
well,
"Oh."
though.
Yeah.
That shaky cam done well. It inspired 900 other action movies for the next 10 years that didn't know how to use shaky cam properly. And they just did it because they thought that that's what made the movie good. It wasn't. They used it well. And I'm so like I love that series, but I hate what they did to the action franchise, action movies after that.
Yeah, it was a good like 5 years of shaky cam. That was fucking
Rough.
Yeah.
You guys remember Taken 3?
No, I saw the.
They have him go like have him like walk like crawl up a big gate like a fence and try to go over, and they have to change camera angles like 15 times because he's an old fucking man, and they're trying to make him crawl over a really tall fence.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the alternative one? It's called. She comes up to him. She's like, "Dad, I'm going to Europe," and he's just like, "No." And it's called Not Taken. The movie's about a minute long.
No.
I always thought I always thought there was a missed opportunity with the second one. It could have been taken again, and they didn't do it.
How about
Like-
taken to the streets?
So I mean, you mentioned
Not quick.
Return of
Took
the
me a second
Jedi
there. I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Oh.
that's how the world reacted to Step Up 2 as well. So
as your favorite fight, right? And in that fight, like the choreography kind of sucks in it. But I agree, it's like one of the best fights of all time.
Yeah.
But it's because of the emotional connection between the people fighting and what that fight means in the story, and that's why it holds so well. So I don't know. You guys have any other like great fight scenes you could think of?
Hundreds, but
Oh
like,
yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Neo versus Mr. Smith in the Mr. Smith in the first movie. I like all of their confrontations, but the first one is especially good, especially when he realizes the futility of it at the end when he hops off the train. I love that part.
I got to throw out there one of my favorite fight scenes ever in any form of media is from Metal Gear Solid 4. So for my gamers out there, whenever old Snake is fighting Liquid, liquid. What's his liquid? So solid liquid, liquid gaseous, whatever his name is. Liquid. Awesome. Not
Gosh, you're just
Gaseous
states.
liquid.
Those are
What the
states
hell's
of
his name?
being.
I haven't played it since 2008. I think liquid.
Is
bad
that
guy.
wait? Is
They're
4 the
fighting.
Phantom Pain, or is that a different one?
No, that's 5. 4
Okay.
is
Solid.
Guns of the Patriots. It's fantastic. It only exists on PS3 though. It's one of those games that the coding of it was weird and they don't know how to bring it onto other platforms. But there's a fight
Snaky
scene.
boy.
Snaky boy, Snake. No step on Snake.
He's just a slippery little
Liquid
snake.
solid gas. BS Warren.
Yeah,
Now.
snake.
Liquid
Find
solid
out.
gas. Liquid diarrhea.
Just
I don't
a little
think that was his
snake.
name.
What is the fight?
So they're on top of a submarine, like the tower, and it doesn't explain how they get up there. And it's these 2 old men, and they're punching each other in the face like at the exact same time, just repeatedly over and over. And then they have these shots they take that basically keep them alive. So they're like pounding each other in the face at the same time. And then they're like,
I love
tired,
dudes
and then
pounding
they
each other in the
inject
face.
each
Right.
other in the neck to keep each other alive because they want to keep punching each other. Then they keep punching each other. It's insane. It's awesome. And the lead up to it, because those games are so epic and over the top and wild. And you get to that fight scene, it's just these 2 old guys just punching each. It's amazing.
What about the
it's one
Ninja
of my favorite-
Gaiden version
one
of
of my
that?
favorite
Like the one with the senator, the fight with the senator. You
Oh,
bring up
Senator Armstrong.
yeah, that's my favorite fight from that franchise.
It's pretty good.
The memes.
Daniel, you got one you can think of?
Oh, hundreds of really, really,
Hundreds,
really
you
great
know.
fight scenes. Oh, jeez.
My go-to is like anything from Yu Yu Hakusho from the Dark Tournament. Particularly the one where they do the knife fight. They heal and they're just
Good.
like, this is a man fight. What are they doing? Why are they? You wouldn't understand what men do.
This is what
When they fight.
men do.
Yeah,
gotta
anything
fight.
from Yu Yu Hakusho is great. The really old Ninja Scroll had some epic.
Ooh, yes.
What a
Fight
scenes.
I like
Lord,
Ninja Scroll, but when I
Scroll,
think
man.
of like animated sword fights, I think of Sword of the Stranger. That fight at the end of that
Mm,
movie is
too.
incredible, dude.
Yep.
I gotta fight.
Mulberry's a tree.
The opening,
But for
the
live
opening-
action
What,
stuff,
what do you got,
um,
AC? What do you got?
Oh, the opening duel in Troy where Brad Pitt just takes down Immortan Joe's son.
That's not a
in
fight.
one
That's
blow.
an
It
execution.
takes out a Morton Joe's son. That'd be a
In one
crossover.
blow. Yeah, I did.
Well, Troy's a great one though, with the fight between Troy and or not Troy.
Let us make a pact that whoever wins this fight will return the body to their families.
Yup.
Yeah,
and,
what's
they will get all the proper burial honors. There are no agreements between lions and men. I love that.
the
Perfect.
fight between Achilles and Paris's brother or something like that.
Hector, senor.
Hector.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hector.
Hector.
There's a great emotional connection between them. You know, he's doing something for his brother that, like, you know, his brother should really be out there, but you know, they probably you're not going to win.
It also leads to one of my favorite scenes in cinema. Period. Is after that, and it always all bleeds into one another. Like I really like they did a really good job putting that in. If you had to condense that story of Troy into a single film, I don't think you're going to do much better than that film. I really liked what they did with that film.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
The only thing you could do
on
better
the
than
beach,
this-
when they try to copy what's it called?
Yeah.
The beach scene from
Normandy.
D-Day Normandy. Yeah.
It's not perfect, yeah.
It's a little weird.
I was gonna say the only thing it could do better is be more historically accurate. But if they maintain that quality and then just made it accurate,
AC, the
cool.
problem is that historically they're not even positive that there are
Yeah.
people that argue that Troy didn't exist historically.
even though they found
That's
it,
the problem.
which is crazy.
Yeah, but then
They
they've said that multiple times. I do think it existed, but again,
Yeah. That's a whole
Speaking
nother.
of
Yeah.
beach scenes, Zatoichi the blind samurai, the beachhead scene towards the end of that film is, in my opinion, one of the great sword fight scenes. Specifically
where-
because,
That's my favorite part,
specifically because Zatoichi is reacting to assassins at the moment they're about to strike him by striking them first with his Iaido skills. So they're coming at him. He does not have any other wherewithal that they're there. until the moment they come within his sensory range, and they're just about to hit him, and he's just like sword out, sword back in, and they're cut. And he's moving. The great thing about it, the actor portrayed it so well that he's moving because he's playing a character you can't see. He's moving erratically through the whole scene, and it keeps shifting in positions from side to side. So you see these guys coming towards him, and he's here, and the dude's here, and right about here is where the sword flashes because it's at night. So you see the blade flash in the light.
I need to see those films. I've
disappear.
never seen them.
It's so cool.
I've only seen the clips from them. Like I've seen that fight scene, but
I've never actually seen a Kurosawa film, and I'm disappointed in myself.
They're
never seen
doing
that.
they remastered Seven Samurai. They're putting it out in 4K, and it looks amazing.
I bet, dude. Like, how old? That movie's ancient. It has to be like what, 40s?
Was it
Maybe
that
Yeah.
old?
I want to say probably 45.
Like Godzilla, OG Godzilla was like 54, and that was still black and white. So it had to be like in a similar time frame.
What was the name of that movie?
Clerks came out in the 90s, and that was black and white.
Was it called Seven Samurai?
Seven
Yeah.
Samurai, yes.
54.
I had it backwards.
Close though,
Damn.
man. That's
Yep.
within the ballpark.
So
Wow, they had Godzilla and Seven Samurai come out in the same year. Damn.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
a
and
big year.
Kurosawa is an incredible storyteller with visual cues. Like the things that he shot with his actors and the way that he positioned them and then coached them into facial expressions and reaction expressions were so vivid that he almost didn't need words half the time. Most of the film is pretty quiet with the exception of its little bit of background score. They do have dialogue moments, but all of the fights are just things happening and people yelling because that's what they did during war.
Yeah.
A
He's-
lot of old westerns were like that too. I've been told they draw a lot on each other. The old Sam Kurosawa films and old.
I was told the
Western
other way
films.
around last week.
3 snaps and Z formation.
That's a
Um,
good segue, I think, into our next subject here. Daniel P. What?
You just watched a clip from our show, Sailing the Iron Seas. Check it out live every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. It's on multiple channels, so follow my Twitter, @BatSauce, to make sure you know where it is to see it live.